So, yeah, I owe you a lot of explanation. Um, Sorry for not staying on top of things. I have a lot of reasons, but I don't want to list them because they would sound like excuses, and one is an excuse. I really haven't been feeling up to it. But anyway, I'm going to start with the day I left. The day I left RDU, Raleigh, hopped over to Atlanta. The flight from Raleigh was delayed by about an hour. So getting into Atlanta was delayed by about an hour, maybe a few minutes less because apparently we had some tailwind. And so that made it really, really close for my Atlanta to London flight. A lot of people had already missed their other flights on the plane, which was just absolutely dreadful, and I felt really bad for them. I think I had about 15 minutes when I got to the gate before closing, because everybody had got on just about, and I was one of the last stragglers to get on. So that was stress-inducing, especially around the fact that Atlanta isn't the easiest airport to navigate. I hate taking the plane train. I prefer walking through, but I had to go from, what was the terminal? I think it was like Terminal B to, I think International Terminal is Terminal F. So I had no choice but to go take the plane train because I had like less than 30 minutes to even get there. So barely made it, got on the plane. I was already stressed and sweating from exertion, trying to get to the right place at the right time. So that already set the mood. It has already set the mood for things. I did for my long haul for the London the Atlanta to London flight. I did do business class. For those of you who have never done business class, and up to this point I never have either, it's supposed to be super uber nice, and it was, but it wasn't anything to sing about. Sure, the benefit of having a place to stretch out while you're in the air for 8 to 9 hours is a bonus. The service was nice. The meal was okay. I got, what was it? I can't remember. It's a white fleshed fish. It was really tasty, and I have some in the freezer. Why am I not on? Anyway, sea bass. That's what it was. Sea bass, with some sort of sauce with couscous in it, and the way it was described in the menu wasn't really the way it turned out my expectations. It tasted okay. It wasn't thrilling for me, but they did, as soon as we got in the air, I guess about 30 minutes in, maybe 45 minutes in, they fed us our meal. Then they came by with drinks and snacks on a fairly regular basis. I was super tired. I think I was in the air for about 3 hours, and I just said, I gotta rest. So the business seats on this particular Delta flight, they weren't as wide as I was expecting. They were a little narrow. It was kind of hard to, move around. A lot of people are side sleepers, and I'm definitely one of them. So it was kind of hard to kind of squirm your body around to kind of get comfortable. That said, I did have a couple hours nap, which was really helpful. When I woke up, wasn't too long after that, they served you a kind of breakfast. It was like I don't want to say a continental breakfast, but it was something along those lines. It wasn't anything that was ordered in advance like you would for the dinners, but it was a nice little meal. Had some coffee and more coffee and more coffee. I was so tired getting in. I really was not looking my best as I got into London, which is often the case when you travel. I don't know. When I'm walking through an airport and I'm sitting on a plane, I see so many people who are nice and coiffed and dry and not sweaty, but me, I'm totally the opposite. I look like hell when I get off a plane. So we landed in London. That was pretty normal. There wasn't a heck of a lot of problems to get through. I did have to go through customs. That wasn't a big deal either. There's an extra kind of permission that you have to have when you go into the UK other than a visa. And it's only supposed to apply to certain individuals. And it was fairly clear from what I read that it didn't apply to U.S. nationals as they're going in, but I ended up being required to do one anyway. So thankfully I learned about that before I took off and got that taken care of. It's like I can't remember what the acronym is, but it's like a permission slip to enter. It's like, may I please enter? Yeah, okay, you can come in. So that was that. And by the time I got to the hotel, I'd still had some 3 hours before I could check in. So I arrived at LHR at around, I think it was like 10 o'clock, about 10 o'clock. It took me an hour or so to get to customs and all that kind of good stuff. And then it was like everybody and their hound dog was trying to take a bus to their destination, and I decided that I didn't want to even get on a bus. I just got off a bus in the air, so I called a black cabbie, and one came, and they don't look the same anymore, and I have to like compare pictures with you on that. They don't look the same anymore, and that kind of takes the charm out of it. So anyway, the driver was really nice and took me to the hotel. I got my luggage. They store my luggage, and so I just kind of went for a walk, and I found this neat little Portuguese restaurant, like within, I don't know, maybe 3 blocks of the hotel. It was nestled like in this neighborhood of regular houses. So it wasn't like you just see it off of the street and you go, oh, let's go there. I had to be walking to find this place. I'll share the name with you later. I don't have it right now in my head. It was absolutely awesome. And the service people, they speak Portuguese and a little bit of English. I mean, they're much better at English than I am of Portuguese, which is nil. And I had a nice little meal, and then I went back to the hotel, got myself checked in, and promptly went to sleep. So that's probably good for a first introduction of my trip to Serbia that hasn't even arrived in Serbia yet at that point. So I will continue this a little later. And again, I'm so sorry for not updating you. It's just, yeah, I couldn't do it. I'll talk to you soon.